have seen part one of our show with some of our top comic stars. Well, now here's part two. They were so good that we just thought we can't let them get away with just 20 minutes of airtime. They deserve a lot more, especially because the laughs are yet to come, right? So here they are back with us, Radhika Vaz, Amit, Tondon and Neville, Shah. Thanks all so much for staying on those extra 20 minutes, especially when we're not throwing any money your way. So I know that your time is your money, but thanks all so much for doing this. You know, we ended the last show where we spoke about how easily we are offended. Now, I just want to talk a bit about the roast when it happened, the extreme reactions that we saw. It was also something that was rather unique to us here in India, and many people weren't aware of what the concept is. So I think that was step one. But we saw extreme reaction. It wasn't just people saying, hey, it didn't work for me, I didn't like it, or I wouldn't watch it again. It was people saying, ban it, stop it, how could they, I'm embarrassed, I'm humiliated, what did they say about India, etc., etc. For you as a comic, for those, how did you sort of perceive those reactions? What did they tell you about the space that you operate in, about us Indians not having a sense of humor, having one? How did you see it?
I just think we have a sense of humor, but it's very restricted to so long as I'm making fun of him.
Yeah.
And he's okay so long as they're making fun of me. The moment you turn the spotlight on me and what I do, it becomes an issue. Now, the funny thing about the AIB roast is that they made fun of 4 or 5 people who had agreed to have fun made of them.
Exactly.
Yet, there was such a backlash. But if you look a little bit more closely, because I did a show for you guys.
Yes.
You know, there was specific, you know, there were religious jokes that they had made, which became a big thing. And then I think Amir Khan's one of the guys who went on there, and, you know, it's a very violent show and everything. And, you know, I can still understand a priest or whatever being upset, but when our own community of performers and, you know, entertainment people were out there talking trash about it, that actually offended me. You know, I just think that if we don't stick up for each other, who is going to?
Which was actually going to be my, I was going to get me to another point, which is that the reaction that it got, not everyone was okay in coming out and say, I support them. But I'll get into that a little later. I'll get into the reactions from the community a little later. The same question to you.
I'll give you an example of what happened after that. You know, it showed, you know, for me, I could see the hypocrisy everywhere in this, because I went to a show, to do a show in Kanpur, okay? 50-year-old women who've seen that video, clearly they enjoyed the video, but they said it should not be there. They said they liked it, but they still didn't, they shouldn't make something like this.
That's like eating the ice cream and then being like, they shouldn't make ice cream.
So, you know, this society, the way it programs you is that you are not supposed to like this.
Yeah, you're sort of some expectation that
even
you cannot enjoy it, or you cannot appreciate it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you should not. It's not good to do it. You know, like how we have these things, it's not right to do it. There's not enough thought to it, perhaps.
So I don't think there are too many people who didn't really enjoy it. They enjoyed it, but they think it should not be out there.
Right. And there are, of course, a fair number of people also, I thought, who thought it was excessive in parts. But and many of them reacted sanely, excessive in parts, not quite sure what the fuss is, and I wouldn't watch it again. But there were, of course, a whole lot out there wanting all sorts of extreme action against everyone involved and all of that, which was never. How did you sort of see the reactions? It's sort of worrying because you're the one person who's politically incorrect too, right?
Not just me, but yeah. No, there's the thing with the AIV roast was that I think it was a classic case of wrong place, wrong time. The media was also very helpful. The media was also extremely helpful with, you know, putting up those clips and making such an informed opinion. If the media would have just said, listen, we don't even care about it, because it's really something you shouldn't be caring about. It's a joke. I mean, it's a joke. It's one show where people paid a lot of money to come and watch insult comedy.
Sure, but if I can play devil's advocate here, Neville, if I can play, if I can just sort of say that for all those who got, and there were a fair number of people, and I think the media reported it because it really became a big story. I mean, all day was just going in one protest to the other, to going to court, to doing this, to stopping them, to banning them, never do it again, etc., etc. So anyway, coming back to the point, I just want to say that if I play devil's advocate and say that people could ask, and many people did at that time, that how much is too much? If it just doesn't work for me, or if you're really crossing the line when it, say, comes to cuss words or your language, religion, then don't I have a right to be offended? Isn't there a right to be offended too? What would you say, Neville?
Sure, but don't watch it. No one's putting you a gun to your head and saying, watch this video, now get offended and go kill yourself. Nobody's saying that. everybody is saying one thing. You don't like it, don't watch. I don't want to watch a certain movie. I don't buy a ticket and watch it. Let's assume I go and buy a ticket and watch a movie and I don't like it. I don't burn down the theatre. Or when I'm watching the clip, it clearly said on top that this is seriously offensive. It's for 18-year-olds and above. It said all those things. I mean, how much more do you need?
Right. So I know, Radhika, that you agree. I know that you agree, but again, the focus is again that, but why can't I be allowed to get offended? And I can be allowed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Why can't I be allowed to get offended?
You're absolutely, here's the thing, everyone's allowed to feel however they want to feel.
Right.
There's a difference though between feeling offended and then going and filing an FIR against Deepika Padukone who's sitting there and laughing. I'm just giving that as an example of the stupid level of nonsense that this whole thing became. It doesn't make any sense to anybody and it makes us all look stupid. Like it just makes the whole country look like idiotic because it did become a big media story. You know, and we just, I mean, it was too, you can be offended. And you know, that's the other thing. A lot of people said to me, you know, as a feminist, don't you feel offended by Yo-Yo Honey Singh songs? And I said, you know, if I really listen that closely, yeah, maybe I'd be like, he shouldn't say that about women. But they're fun songs. He's an artist. He's expressing whatever he's expressing. I'm dancing to that damn song at some party. And at the end of the day, if I don't want people offended by what I have to say, then I have to just take one for the team on the Yo-Yo Honey Singh front, for example, and let it go. I'm not going to go and demand that he stop singing. Like, it doesn't make...
stuff is sort of deeply unsettling.
Don't listen to it, man. Don't listen. There's so many better... I mean, then listen to whoever, like Katy Perry or whatever you want to listen to.
When something like this happens, do you think that people like yourself, like all of you, you know, sort of are then extra conscious about what you're putting out or no?
No, I don't think
like,
that's
so there's no sort of long-term worry about this space and people watching us.
In fact, it was good for everybody. I think when you know, when this happened, everybody wanted to talk to comedians. Everyone wanted to understand, okay, so there's something like this that happens. So I think people became more educated, and overall, you know, I think it was good for comedians finally. Although yes, people should have just taken offense and written an open letter. They should have stopped. Should not have written an FIR. But I think.
You know, I really loved how film people, including I think that censor board and whatnot, had the nerve to use women as like a prop. Okay. Oh, it's offensive to women. They shouldn't have said this is offensive to men. Dude, your film industry has been offensive to women since it began, and it's still going strong. And the more offensive the look of it, the better apparently it's doing. So it's this very, it's not sensible thought processes that are involved here.
I see what I see what you guys are saying, and you know, I can even understand where the outrage, if I may call it that, is coming from. But something else that this incident brought to light was that there weren't too many people from the comedy world or from maybe the, you know, performance artists, etc., who really stood up for them. Like there were of course enough voices. I'm sure you guys were among them. But I just thought that there could have been, considering that we have a very active scene now, there could have been a surfeit of support. But
I can answer that
issue. See, we didn't want it to be an issue. I mean, simple.
No, we didn't want it to be an issue. In fact, people from AIB, friends of ours, because we're all really a tight-knit community to a point where we have a WhatsApp group. I mean, they just said, guys, don't add fuel to the fire, just let it be.
But then that's also the reason why then you heard the other voice louder. And then people tended to believe, you know, the person watching, say, a news program or, you know, getting online, then sort of heard those voices louder. And there was the balance wasn't always there unless
nobody knows comedians. So when you have someone from the industry, whether it's a censor board chief or Amir Khan come out and say something, who is Neville Shah? I mean, who is this guy? Why do we have to listen to him when Amir Khan is saying something? I mean, it makes no sense. And
no, he's absolutely correct. I'll tell you something. You're saying, I wrote a scathing review of it in the for my column that's that big in Times of India. Nobody cares. Because we aren't, he's right, like some of us are not well known. And I wish the well-known comedians actually had made a bigger deal out of it. And I think some of them did. But I do agree with you. I think the industry, see, we are part of the entertainment industry whether they want it or not. I wish that there had been more, I mean, I wish it had been more vocal. I wish it had been more.
So do you think that next time that we are, I mean, and knowing us, there will be a next time? Where
yeah, of course.
will, I mean, there's no denying that, right? I mean, no one doubts it.
It's not if, it's when.
Yes, it's not if, it's when. So do you think that the reactions will be different? The responses will be different?
I have no idea. What I'm hoping is that we'll have educated at least a few of the people who were against the whole issue, so at least they'll have shut up. So maybe there'll just be fewer people on that side of the wave.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
See, for me, the thing is, you know, we've only, what, 35, 40 comedians across 6 cities. We can't even have a candle march, right? Like, if 5 people go to India Gate with a candle, nobody's going to even cover it up.
The media is not lining up with 6 cameras, yes. That's
5 people at India Gate are going to be, with a candle, are going to be, bhai sahab, kuch gir gaya kya?
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah, the communities are big. Like movie community is huge. Like, and there's a lot of money. It's easier for them to go out and support somebody. What do we do to support? Yeah, whenever somebody called us to, you know, a channel called us up, we supported. You know, what else? Either you get on Twitter, you know, put out a tweet and get trolled by 500 people, which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I wish I'd get trolled by 500 people. My tweets get...
It shows actually that your following that you have and how many people are taking what you say seriously.
No, I actually have a friend who said that, so nobody's objected, right, to anything you've done. So I was like, I said, then you're not well known. I said, you're right.
Yeah, actually, I think that there's some truth in that, right? Because then there's nothing like a controversy to take you to center stage.
To the next level, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm taking a quick break now. Coming up after that, so many of you writing in that you want to ask them how to be in their shoes. Many of them, of course, have told us that they don't want anyone in their shoes. Of course, they're not vacating those shoes soon. But of course, on a more serious note, so many people wanting to be the next big thing in the world of comedy, in the world of comic stars. We're going to try and get them to answer and just how you can get there, if at all. Well, that's, of course, being the subtext. So we'll take a quick break, back with more.